Good morning, witches. This is Dawn from Aurora Dawn, and it is May 27th, 2019, Memorial Day. And I just want to make a quick shout out to all those who have served our country. Thank you for your service. And to all those who have died on the battlefield, thank you for your sacrifice. Whether you agree with war or not, these people are putting their lives on the line for this country. And I just want to thank them for that. Okay, so I'm doing this video because I want to talk about the first ritual that I am putting together. Now, I have rituals already, but I wanted to do something different. The thing is that I want to make some things happen, and I feel like rituals are the way to concentrate the energy, concentrate the focus of what I'm trying to create and manifest, and really help make things happen. So the first thing I did was to sit in meditation and basically, okay, what do I do first? I've got health issues. Do I do a ritual on health? What about success? Because I want to establish success for everything. And so I wasn't sure where to start. So I left it up to whatever spirit guide decides to show up. I just put the question out there and waited in silence and took the first thing that came to my mind. Because if you wait too long, the ego gets in there and says, no, that's not it. That's not it. It's got to be something different. It's got to be something more dramatic and interesting and so on. So I sat for a few minutes, not really minutes even. It was pretty quick. What I saw came to my mind was a wolf. And the wolf looked at me and said, you need to start with purification. And so I took that as, the wolf is a symbol of a teacher. It's the symbol of teacher. And so I took that as my spirit teacher. And I decided to start exploring purification. And the first thing I wanted to do is figure out what herbs, plant spirits that I can feel like I'm drawn to, and that also can help me with purification. So I started looking at a bunch of herbs that are very common, very well known as for purification. And I've written them down in my book. This is my book of shadows. Now, I call a book of shadows my shadow work journal. All right. So some people, they put the wheel of the year, and they put how to cast a circle and so on and so forth. I didn't feel like I needed to put that in my book of shadows. So what I did is just make a journal just for my shadow work. So what I did is started writing down purification herbs that I'm familiar with, and I put a star where the herb actually grows in my yard. So get it focused in there. All right, so I started making this list, and the stars just mean that I have them growing in my my yard. And so I wanted to see body, mind, heart, spirit. What level in effects does hyssop have in purifying my body? And then I got the number. I'm purifying my mind, purifying my heart, purifying my spirit. And I asked, do I need to purify my spirit? And the pendulum said yes. So I continued on that way. And I was asking, confirming that it really was a number 6, level was 6. And it was taking so long that I decided to just go, let's see, what does it say? Mild, strong, and very strong. Here, I'll show you. This is the chart that I'm using. And I reversed my camera because Facebook does not know how to get rid of the mirror flip. YouTube does. But you see on the right hand side, mild, strong, very strong. Those are positive effects. I'm assuming that all of these herbs have a positive effect on my body. And some of these actually came up with 0. So juniper in purifying my mind is a 0. And this personalizes it for me. This is what these herbs, the effects that these herbs have on my body, mind, heart, and spirit. So heart and soul can be the same thing. Okay, so what I've done is written down all of these herbs: hyssop, elderberry, nettles, dandelion, juniper. They all grow in my yard. Eucalyptus, rosemary, sage, thyme, oregano, frankincense, lavender, lemongrass, wisteria. Because I'm really drawn to that scent. Really love the scent of wisteria. Orange, lemon, catnip. And catnip grows wild in our yard. And so using this chart, instead of confirming the number that it was pointing to, I just went to the section, just wrote down the section. And I'm very, very interested in understanding better how these herbs purify different parts of me, my being. Should I use hyssop to purify my body, because it turned out to be a 10? And then find, let's see, for mind, lemongrass came out at a 10 for purifying my mind and also purifying my spirit. So finding, at least for me, I feel at least 3 herbs or essential oils, or you know, what it could be also. I don't have anything that's dangerous on here, but the essence, like I think a lot of people have heard of Bach flower essence, and you can use water to absorb the essence of a poisonous plant into the water without actually getting the poisonous part into the water, if that makes sense. Just the properties that you are looking to extract from the that plant, and it goes into the water, and then you drink the water. Okay, so the next step for this ritual would be how to use these. Do I inhale? I would imagine for purifying the mind, inhaling would be important. And what do I do to use that herb to purify my spirit? Do I burn it? Do I use an essential oil and inhale it? Do I create an infusion? Do I use alcohol? Do I use vinegar to extract? So there are a lot of different questions still. It's a lot of work, but you know what? It's very important to me to do something like this, and I'm having a lot of fun learning. So I want to continue going with it, and I urge you to do the same thing. So in your meditation, make it your focus of attention, your intention to communicate with your teacher, and ask, what is the first thing that I need to do? And then explore it. And you can use your pendulum, and I will be, now that I have more time, I want to do the classes, put together some pendulum classes, and I do have a Patreon account, which I will put these classes on there, and continue to make new classes. So the pendulum classes, psychic self-defense, I went through an experience of being the target of somebody's psychic attack on purpose. He was very conscious of it, and it was a very strange experience, and I would love to share it with you, what I have learned from that experience and how you can use these tactics or techniques, if you will, to protect yourself. And I will put all of that on Patreon, and members will be able to have access to all of that. But I'm saying a lot of ums. I wanted to just confirm that rituals are very, very powerful. And if you want to create change, ritual, I feel, is the best way to do this, because it puts a lot of focus and attention on what it is you're trying to manifest. And we get caught up in distractions. Oh, I've got to go to work. I've got to clean the house. I've got to take care of the kids. I've got a garden. I've got yada, 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 yada. And then it goes on and on and on. But if you have a ritual, it's already figured out. Everything's figured out. And yes, you have to take time to figure out everything and then put it into a ritual and just work on it a little bit every day. And then your ritual should be, for me, I want it to be very not time consuming. It needs to be very focused and concentrated into a very short period of time, because like many of you, I'm very busy myself and I don't have a lot of time. So the first step is to figure out the ingredients that I'm going to use. Am I going to use essential oils or the raw material? Do I dry them? Do I use infusion? Do I make an elixir? Or a potion, if you will? That'd be fun. Put it in a bottle and use it that way. And an oil, do I put it on my body? Do I inhale it? So on and so forth. So it's going to be very interesting, but I would urge you to use the pendulum to find out how these herbs will affect your body. Many years ago, I went to a naturopath to find out what was wrong with my body and how to heal it. He had a machine that he connected to my fingers, and I held on to a rod in one hand, and he touched the probe to different points on my fingers that corresponded to different places in my body, and found what was wrong, and then went through a list of herbs. For instance, my liver was inflamed, so he went through a list of herbs that would help the liver, and found which herbs would work best for my body. So there are a lot of herbs like, milk thistle, dandelion, and yellow dock, and a few others that work really well to help the liver. But what's going to work with my body, with my needs right at that moment? So it turned out that yellow dock was the best thing that I needed to take for my liver. And so that's what I'm trying to do with the pendulum, is find out what works for me. I can go out on the internet and look up purifying herbs and look at what's easy, accessible for me to get. I can go to a nursery and buy the plants and plant them, which, that's something I definitely want to do. Or I can buy the essential oil or order from Mountain Rose Herbs or something, along those lines, where I can just put it together myself, but I don't know what's really going to work best for me. So, level of effects, using your pendulum to measure the level of effects is very, very important. Okay, so that's about it where I'm at right now, and I will add to this as I go along, as I figure things out myself. So I'm going to stop there for now. And thank you for watching my video, and thank you for your comments. They mean a lot to me, by the way. And have a wonderful rest of your weekend and holiday, actually Memorial Day. And I will talk to you again soon. Blessed be.